Moments like seeing your grandchild grow up, enjoying a sunset with that special someone, or reading a good book. Visit seeforalifetime.org.
We didn't know what to expect. We were just left in a hotel.
My mom was doing drugs in the house.
Tay and Brianna spent years of their childhood in homes that weren't safe. They were placed in foster care and longed for a permanent, loving home.
I didn't know what my future was.
I wouldn't speak to anyone. I was afraid of everything.
With help from the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption, Brianna and Tay were adopted and now feel excited about their futures.
I'm studying to be a chef, and I really want to travel the world.
I'm going to be a mechanic, and I can focus on my career.
Right now, in the United States, there are more than 100,000 children in foster care, just like Brianna and Tay, who need a family now. Learn how you can help at davethomasfoundation.org.
Listen to the home of the 5K Gruber Cash Giveaway. 1017 FM, 1510 AM, WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of judgment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. I need new headphones. Like, my headphones are tearing along the little thing. It's terrible. I need new headphones. Now I need an excuse to go out and buy myself some Sony Dynamic Stereo headphones, NDR 7506 models. Digital. Professional. Because I've been using them for, good Lord. 40-something years. Not these headphones, but they're in trouble. 833-212-1017 is the number. I am live on LinkedIn, my YouTube page, Dr. Ken's Truth, 101.7 The Truth, YouTube page, on X, LinkedIn, Facebook. So if somebody says, hey, I can't find you, I can't see you, I'm here. I only do my open on my pages. And then the truth just kind of stays right there, and I look and I talk. You know, I should probably just do my show like this. Just talk to the camera the entire time. What do you mean no? I do what I want. What do you mean no? No. Turn it on the air. Turn it on the air. No, come on air.
Dr. Ken.
What?
Why you just do me like that?
What do you mean, do you like that? I can do that. It's my show. She was like, don't look at the camera. I do what I want.
I was going to explain it until you like gave me the up and down. Like,
I don't need you to explain to me what I'm doing.
Jeez.
You need to explain to me what you're doing.
I didn't like that.
Say what? Say what? Say it. Not like that.
I didn't like it. I didn't like that attitude. I didn't like that energy.
Of course not. When it's against you, it's how nobody likes energy against them. Right? You'd be like, don't talk to me like that. Huh? I said good morning. See? Don't talk to me like that. So I'm going to just talk to the camera the whole time because that's who I'm looking at. You. I'm not looking at you. I'm looking at you. Then I get to cue you and do all kind of crazy stuff. So I was kicking around and doing some research today on, I think I mentioned it before about that statistic that said, out of the 170% increase of people getting hired for DEI and all that other stuff, that actually they're getting laid off in droves. Like a third of them have lost their job. That's my estimate. It's probably more, And so everybody, George Floyd and, we got best of intentions. We're going to do this and we're going to help people out and we're going to, and I made a point to let people know when they were meeting and having all these things and addressing all these things. And I sat on boards and sat with people and they discussed diversity and it's important that, and I find it interesting that white females and white males are talking about diversity, but they're not including people who are actually diverse in the conversation. But that was another issue. And so trying to get people to understand, that, see, now I can't find my phone. Now I'm completely and totally distracted because I think my phone is out there. Actually. Okay, I'm going to just say it. I left my phone in the bathroom. And my Apple Watch said, hey, dude, where are you? And I looked and said, you can't find my phone. I'm like, where's my phone? Then I realized, oh, okay, my bad. But I digress. Diversity efforts have been sidetracked. We went through this. We went through this thing of making sure that people were, heard and valued and all this. And I have a little bit of a different take on value because I don't know if I value womanhood. Well, I can't I'm not a woman. I can value manhood because I have a lot of things in common with manhood. You can value womanhood, I believe, if you're a woman. I respect it, womanhood. I'm committed to uplifting it, but when I hear value, it just kind of makes me, what was it in there? Yeah, it is. I know exactly what it is. To the left. Yeah. We were actually talking about a phone in the bathroom. Now look, now I got to end my talk early so I can go find my phone. No, I'm just teasing. So one of the things I always talk about is that you can't really value something if it's not important to you, right? But when we talk about valuing something, it bothers me when we do it about holding something of importance when it's someone else. It's based on judgment. It's based on your principles. It's based on standards of behavior, value, right? I can appreciate it. I can adore it. I can love it. But I don't know if I could give it the importance, the worth, the usefulness that you can give yourself. And that's what I mean by valuing something. So people talk about valuing diversity, but if you're not, quote unquote, diverse, how can you really value it? Well, there's some issues with it. There's some issues with it. Number one, unconscious bias is never addressed. So we never look at the structure of an organization and look at the barriers that are built in, because they're just some things some people just don't believe that cause you to not be able to get in. Recruitment. If you want to get this, you got to do all this stuff and take all these things and do all this stuff in order to get like us. Well, that's not cool. Number two, in many instances, there's a lack of commitment to the program. You know, we talk about it, and leadership has to be committed to the implementation and the this and the that, but they really don't really follow through and follow up on what it takes. Number three, barriers to succeed were never really resolved. So we come in and we look at the lack of commitment, look at the unconscious bias, and then we decide that these are the barriers, but then we never really remove them. I've worked in organizations, and still do, where they hire themselves. I don't think that person would be comfortable here. Huh? I've never understood that. You have to consciously hire somebody of a different culture and a different background, because that's what you do. But if you hire somebody from a different culture and a different background and they reflect you, then that's not really diversity. Number four, the effect was treated like a check-the-box exercise. And we've seen it. Okay, we got to hire. Now, the Milwaukee Police Department was always accused of doing that, but that's not actually how it worked. Everybody had to pass the physical agility, the written, the interview, all that stuff, medical, everything. Then they got in. But people were under the impression they were just checking a box and going in, and for every three white males that were hired, they hired 2 minority males and a woman. And they had to have a class of 60 minimum, and it had to be in those groups. So every class was diverse since the consent decree and the lawsuit by the League of Martin. But then number 5 says the company didn't understand DEI's true importance. And so many places come and spend money with you because they see that you reflect them. And when you don't, they change. And that usually it's a little short span, like it was after George Floyd, and then it dies down. And it's done that over time. The entire time that I've been alive, I've watched diversity and equity and inclusion turn into all sorts of things as it was before, but it really never changed the status of inequality. It never changed it. So number 6 says management didn't take the time to actually listen. Well, that's the thing where the white guy thinks they know everything because they're the white guy. Hate to say it like that, but many times I'll get talked over because people don't listen because they think they know better about me than me. And I was recently in a conversation like that where I literally, in the middle of the meeting, I literally stopped talking. I said, I'm done because you're not listening. And so every time I would say something, they would interrupt me and then tell me I was wrong, but I'd never let them say it. It wasn't like the radio where I cut you off and I argue and all that stuff. I'm talking about where they asked me a question and I said I disagreed and here's why. And then when I tried to tell them, they told me I was wrong. I'm like, you're not even hearing me. So anyway, why is that? Well, you have employees that are resistant to change. Not the diverse employee. But even when you try to do it all right and you do all the training and you get people together, it fails because employees just don't care. Number 8, the root causes of problems were never really identified. And that means if you're an organization and you're going to hire yourself and you're going to hire people that support your ideas, your mission, say so. Don't lie and pretend you'll include some people, but then you really don't. Or when you talk about diversity, you end up hiring a white woman and saying you're diverse because you have a female. That's not what diversity. I literally sat in a meeting, a room full of 1, 2, 3, maybe about 15, 20 men, me, and there's at least one white woman there. And as the conversation went on, they purposefully said, well, we need to diversify. And the person running the meeting said, yes, that's true. I found Mrs. So-and-so, blah, 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 blah. And I'm thinking, oh, gee, your diversity is another white woman. How's that again? When we don't identify the root causes of issues, even the best intentions, we fail. You literally have to be more proactive than reactive when it comes to addressing these issues. You have to go and find where Black, Hispanic, Asian men and women are and recruit them from there. To say, I can't find any minority candidates. Well, where'd you look? I went to UW-Madison. Okay. Well, how many Black or Hispanic or Asian or whoever are in that particular major at that school? Very few. So then why would you go there? I mean, like if you're looking for a Black engineer, wouldn't you at least go to Howard or I don't know if Morehouse has an engineering school. You know, go to an HBCU. But if you're really looking for a Black engineer, you would go to FAMU, Florida A&M. If you're looking for a Black medical school student, you would go to Xavier because that's where they are. You're looking to hire a Black doctor, Xavier, Meharry. So these are the things we talk about. When you don't explore the root causes, nothing ever changes. And then number 9, there were never any real clear goals anyway. People just stand up and rah-rah. They hire somebody Black to come talk, you know, and then that's it. And literally that's it. DEI is a complex matter so that no matter how you look at it, it's going to take strategy and work. You can't just come up with a plan and say, okay, this is it. We're going to do this now. It actually takes trial and error. It's not going to be perfect. You have to hold people accountable. But then finally, the thing that kills everybody, right? There's too much of an emphasis on the rules. Oh, no. We don't do it that way. We do it like this. No, I understand, but when I come in, maybe I see it from a different point of view. Oh, no, that's not how we do it. This is the way we do it. I have known at least 10, 15 people that have gotten fired from Fortune 500 companies because they didn't do their job their way. Made it, followed the rules, did the hiring, did all the work, all the operations and the marketing, got everything done, increased the division's revenue, but still got let go because they said, quote, well, you didn't do it our way. What that was code for is that you raised too much money and you actually made us look bad. We all keep our revenue within a certain window where everybody keeps their job. You just exceeded that. Now you're going to make us work harder. So we're getting rid of you. Or we have plans set up where, oh, if you're going to do equity and inclusion and all that, oh, you got to do it like this. Beforehand, yes, you got to do it like this. Like, we're going to take all the black people, put them in an ERG, employee resource group, and then that's where they go. You know, if you got a problem, go there. You need a mentor? Forget a vice president. Go there. Yeah, but we only have like one black vice president. Well, if you need a mentor, that's who it is. Okay, but we got 15,000 employees. That one black person can't mentor 15,000. And so that's what happens. And then no one cooperates. And then when it doesn't work, it's because we didn't follow the rules. 833-212-1017 is the number. Have you ever been in a space where you were told, well, this is a diversity effort, when in fact it ended up not being? When we come back, I want to talk to you about some things that I experienced between 1993 and 2017 with the Milwaukee Police Department as it relates to race and gender and all sorts of things. 10 reasons why DEI efforts fail. I wonder why. Maybe it's not me.
And that is Dr. Ken's Truth on the new 1017 The Truth. Tap into Milwaukee's most entertaining morning show.
Hey, good morning. Y'all should change this station to the Butt Naked Truth. That was the Butt Naked Truth. Miss DC,
oh my God, I love that.
I'm so scared of you. I mean, it's like, you sweet, but when somebody rub you the wrong way, you better look out.
Listen to Truth Be Told with DT and Telly weekdays from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Sharon needed legal help. She needed Gruber Law Offices.
When I think about Gruber Law Office, I think about how they took care of me, how they make sure that you get what you're supposed to get. Gruber Law Office. One call, that's all. I will always trust one call, that's all.
Injured? Call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
They are the best. I'm very happy.
When you choose Ascension Wisconsin for your family's care needs, you'll get the right care at the right place at the right time, and you'll get an entire team ready to care for your family. Family medicine doctors care for the whole family, and Ascension Wisconsin will help make sure your family is up to date on screenings and yearly wellness checks. Ascension also cares for you when you are sick and helps manage ongoing chronic conditions. If you don't have a primary care doctor, go to GetAscensionWisconsinCare.com to find one today.
Ready to ride?
Just let me get my flip-flops on.
Whoa, Mom and Dad are going for a ride without their protective gear.
Quick, grab the checklist. I'll grab the gear.
Just where do you two think you're going without your safety gear?
Yeah, you know how we feel about riding without your gear.
Well, it's so nice out.
And we're only going for a short ride.
Not before you put all this gear on, you're not.
But...
Riding pants?
Okay.
Check.
Motorcycle boots?
Bye-bye, flip-flops.
Check.
Armored jackets?
Nice.
Check.
Riding gloves?
2 pairs.
Check.
Last but not least, full face helmets.
Check.
Now you're ready to ride.
And you look cool.
All the gear, all the time. Zero in Wisconsin. Together, we can save lives. Learn more at zeroinwisconsin.gov.
Be home on time for dinner.
Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Transportation.
The Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. I'm here for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. This is the time to replace your drafty old windows. The temperature has dropped dramatically. Rain is coming. And you might want to consider, I mean, this is just me, but you might want to consider replacing drafty old windows. I mean, you don't want to do it in the dead of winter. Like, I didn't realize, I guess when I was little, I didn't realize, I think where I live now is the first home that I've ever had where I had to replace windows, where you literally take the whole window out and you like rebuild the wood part around it and all that stuff. That's not something you do during the dead of winter. Well, Pella has a great deal going on. Pay as low as $19 a month per window, $75 a month on patio doors, and the installation is complete. No muss, no fuss. That's it. Leaving nothing but perfect results. Visit PellaWI.com. That's PellaWI.com today. 6.99 annual percentage rate for 120 months. Certain restrictions apply. See showroom for detail. Offer ends 9/30 of 2023. So make sure you check it out. If you can't afford $19 a month and $75 a month on a patio door, bet when the wind come through, you're going to pay a little bit more for your electric and gas bill. So make sure you check it out. PellaWI.com today. 833-212-1017 is the number. I am interested to know whether or not you believe DEI actually works. Does diversity, equity, and inclusion at the corporate level actually work? And that's it. Because we've been talking about it for Lord knows how long. If you want to send an email, host@1017thetruth.com, or the talk and text line is 833-212-1017 is the number. I'm not convinced that this whole diversity, equity, and inclusion thing really is the thing. Like I'm at a point where I really think that it's not going anywhere. Like I had somebody talk the other day, and they were talking about whether or not businesses and whether or not we should look to businesses to do certain things for the black community. And I said, why don't we just start our own? And so they thought, because I was on another station, they thought I was going to be upset by that. But I kind of told them, I think we should have been doing that all along. And I know it sounds like a reverse racism thing, but I honestly think, and if you agree or disagree, 833-212-1017, I honestly think that it's time for black people to actually create their own whatever they want, whatever they need. I don't see why not. We complain about not having, but yet we don't make it ourselves. I'm tired of waiting on people to give the black community stuff. I'm tired of waiting on people to lend a hand, give them a hand up, because they already think of you as if you're, less than anyway. The fact that they call you a minority and you let yourself be called a minority, like you're minor, you're less than. No, absolutely not. Makes no sense. Security Mike said, you killed him in y'all meeting, Dr. Ken, when their idea of diverse was to hire a white woman instead of find a student of color. I'm still laughing. The way you said it was funny. But that's what always happens. I'm starting to see people just hire and black people do it too, to an extent, right? You hire yourself, you hire your own. But the issue I have is that black people seem to want to go out of their way to show how open they are and how diverse they are. So they include white people, Hispanic people. They don't include us. When have black people ever been included in anything, Mung? or Hispanic for that matter, and I don't think it's a negative. I think it's important that you hold on to your culture, that you hold on to it with people that you share your culture with. I think it's one of the most powerful things in the world. America is a culture, race is a culture, ethnicity is a culture, where you're from is a culture, your country, all those things. I think it's great. We seem to be the only people that have a problem with it. I think this will come out wrong or bad, but I think if white people want to hang out with just themselves, God bless them. Because black people hang out with black people. Like, I don't understand, like, what? And every now and then we have friends and we hang out and we do stuff and that's it. Like, what is that? Why fight segregation when everybody wants to be segregated? (833-212-1017) is the number. Dr. Ken, you'll be watching the Tucker Carlson interview with the con artist who said he smoked crack and had sex with President Obama in 1999. Elizabeth Brown says she believes him. It's a white man. So does his credibility go down because he's a white guy, or does his credibility go up because he's a white guy, or does it go down because he's on Tucker Carlson, or that he smoked crack? Now, here's my issue. Everybody will get mad at me, right? Why do we even care what he did in 1999? I don't care what he did in 2023. Not in a negative sense of not caring, but there's so many other things in the world that are happening that we care whether or not and who President Obama had sex with. Come up a bit, right? Bring yourself up a bit. Marquina said, I agree with you, Dr. Ken. We should have our own. Correct. But when are we going to start building it? Because it seems every time we start building, the white powers that be start screaming and hollering about you can't build a building. Like, when will we build our own community center? We got an Italian community center. We got Serb Hall. When are we going to get an African-American community center? That's quality, where we have events and all that stuff. When is it coming? Because I'm tired. I'm tired of hearing about it. I'm tired of talking about it. Security Mike said, because they really don't mean diversity when they say it. But they put it in everything, right? And it's unfortunate because if it were truly diverse, we would have the same power as everybody else, and we don't. There's never quite somebody in charge of anything. There's never quite somebody in charge of like anywhere, right? Their idea of diversity is hiring a white woman. And no, I'm not saying all white women in positions of power are there because of their diversity, but people that hire are comfortable hiring themselves. But yet they have this thing on the wall about diversity, and then when they do it, they segregate everybody and put them in an employee resource group. That's just weird to me. 833-212-1017 is the number. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I think you're going to hear that again. I'm just saying. And traffic, sports, and weather up next.
You are listening to Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Hey, Rhea, what are you doing?
I'm online looking for a contractor to replace my roof, and I need a reliable company.
Have you contacted Excel Property and Contracting? They're located on 57th and North Avenue, and they have great reviews on Google, and they provide free estimates. In fact, they are doing storm damage inspections in the area. They'll come out, check on the exterior of your home for damage related to recent storms that may be covered by your insurance. To schedule your free inspection, contact Al Cole at 877-277-6817 or visit their website at excelprop.com.
To the best crew in baseball, this is for you. Join Brewers Fan Appreciation Weekend September 15th through the 17th. As a special thank you, enjoy buy one, get one beer on Friday the 15th. Gate giveaways all weekend, including 2024 Brewers ticket vouchers. And a Fan Appreciation Night William Contreras bobblehead giveaway on Saturday the 16th. Grab your seats at brewers.com/fan appreciation.
Hey, wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind. Like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest.
Uh-oh.
Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
They are our cuddlers and coworkers, purr machines and love bugs, and constant companions. They are our pets, our family, and they make life so much better. When we face unexpected challenges in life, so do our pets. That's why we're on a mission to support people who love their pets and the pets who love their people, ensuring these families stay exactly where they belong, together. And you have something to offer. With an open heart and mind, there is nothing you can't do. There's no gesture too small or too big when it comes to helping. Whether donating a bag of kibble, sharing an Instagram post of a lost cat, or welcoming a foster pet into your home, every bit of kindness counts. You can help keep pets and people together. Visit petsandpeopletogether.org to learn how to be a helper in your community. This has been a public service announcement brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
We are still backing up on southbound 43, coming down from Silver Spring, pretty much all the way down to about Locust, and then back on the brakes, heading through the Marquette interchange onto 4394. On the northbound side, slow from Fond du Lac Avenue all the way up past Keith. Westbound 94 is going to be slow right out of the Marquette all the way through the Stadium interchange to about Hawley Road. And then southbound 41, also a bit slow just south of Appleton Avenue, and that stretches all the way down to about Center Street. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, a few showers, mostly cloudy with a low of 61. Tomorrow, spotty showers, mostly cloudy with a high of 68. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 101.7 The Truth.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 101.7 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Greg Madsick. Afternoon baseball for the Milwaukee Brewers, cleaning up a series against the Pirates on the road today. Brewers begin the day with a 2.5-game lead over the Cubs for first place in the NL Central. Game week for the Packers, who are slim 1-point underdogs for Sunday's opener against the Bears in Chicago. According to Packers head coach Matt LaFleur, outside linebacker Rashawn Gary is expected to play, less than 1 year removed from a torn ACL.
I mean, we're going to be smart with him, knowing that this is a marathon and he's one of our dogs and one of the lead dogs, and you can't have enough guys like him.
Sunday's game is a 3:25 kick from Soldier Field. Week 1 of the NFL season kicks off Thursday night in Kansas City with the defending champion Chiefs taking on the Detroit Lions. This sports update presented by Associated Bank, proudly supporting our hometown teams. Member FDIC.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. Truth is now home to Marquette University high school football. The Marquette Hilltoppers look to stay undefeated in conference play as they take on conference rival Brookfield East Spartans. Kickoff is at 7 p.m. Pregame is at 6:30, right after the first half hour of the Tori Lowe Show. That's Friday Night Football on The Truth, presented by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. 833-212-1017 is the number. I got so much stuff going on today. Where'd I put it? I got too much stuff. There it is. So I've got a guest coming up in the 5 o'clock hour, Jacqueline Rice. She's the president of Cream City Links chapter, to talk about their annual fundraiser that's coming up. And so I'm excited to talk to her in the 5 o'clock hour. So it should be great. Black-owned business Give Back is back. We have teamed up with the Associated Bank to help local black businesses grow and succeed together. The home of Milwaukee Black Talk will be giving away $6,000 worth of free commercial advertising for 3 months to 5 black businesses each quarter of 2023. To sign up for this incredible marketing opportunity, visit blackbusinessgiveback.com. That's blackbusinessgiveback, one word, all one word, .com. Let's rebuild our community's backbone through exposure right here on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. For official rules, head to blackbusinessgiveback.com. Associated Bank, member FDIC. I think the diversity piece just has to change. We just have to give up on the fact that we think that it's going to be something that it's not, that we're going to wait for other people to give us something that we can give ourselves. And so in order to do that, I think it's important that we work through some of the things that we can do for ourselves and then do it. I mean, we figured out other ways. Let's figure out if we can just get over not trusting each other and start stores, businesses, things where people in the community can work. Start to hold people accountable for what's going on. Sir Chance said, Dr. Ken, I agree with you. I don't give a darn. That's not the word he used. What Obama may or may not have done in 24 years ago in his leisure time. Moreover, with regards to that white guy's credibility, well, if he was smoking crack cocaine at that point in time, then as far as I'm concerned, his credibility has to be called into question clearly. Well, does a crime, so are you saying that we just hold people accountable for crime like the rest of their lives? Like forever? I don't know. I know people that were smoking crack cocaine back in the day, and they're productive citizens today. They came through it. What if you're addicted to opioids and now you go through it and you get a job and you're working and all that? Do we ever forgive people? See, that's the argument I've come to reject when it comes to politicians. I don't want a perfect politician. I don't want the family man, the family woman that takes care of their community, goes to church. I want to know, have you struggled? Have you had to fight? Have you had to figure out how to, pay your bills because there's too much a month left at the end of your money? Have you had to forego food so that you could feed your kids and you kind of take an extra meal or go hungry for a bit? Because if you haven't, I'm not impressed. I want that man or woman. The one that talks about, I was homeless and I did this and that and now I'm running. Now, here's the thing I don't want to hear, because I am just so tired of hearing this, and I don't understand why people wear it as a badge of honor. I grew up in 53206. So what? I get it. It's like the worst zip code in Wisconsin. I don't know if that's what I want to claim. I mean, I grew up in a pretty crappy neighborhood in Chicago and then moved into a really, really good neighborhood in Chicago. But I don't know if I'm going to go around, hey, my badge of honor is that I I grew up in a bad zip code. Really? And my question is, are we talking about who you were, or are we talking about who you are? If we're talking about who you are, and that's part of your like what was it like to say, journey, then fine. Yes, it helped make you who you are. But at some point, can we move past that? I am so tired of every time we reference black people, it's about the struggles and the negatives and all the crap they went through. Let's show, hey, this is what I did when I won. This is how I made it. This is what I did. These are the schools I went to, the books I read, all that. Nah, we don't do that. We compare people by, hey, I was the first black person to, okay. But at some point, and it's just me, I want to get things out of merit. I want to get things by merit. I don't want it handed to me. I want to earn it. And then you can't take it away from me. You didn't just say, hey, I'm anointing you. Boop, you're it. Because I watched that happen. I watched it happen in law enforcement. I watched it happen when people got promoted because they were friends with people where they had, all right, you got to go through the process. But the process was basically rigged from the beginning. When I say rigged, I mean you knew who you were going to promote in the beginning. People were your friends, stuff like that. So I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed. 833-212-1017 is the number. When we come back, we'll hit the talking text line. Sandra's holding on. The world's falling apart. It's about to rain. And everything's going on. But it's just me.
More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This is 1017 The Truth's Melanie Ricks, and I am Milwaukee. I love Milwaukee so much. I love how rich this city is in history, and I love how rich we are in the moment. I think that every day there's something new that our city accomplishes, but it's important that we keep remembering that it takes a village to be great, and I know that we can be great as long as we all stick together. So why not stick together and join the home of Milwaukee's realest conversations where you can speak your truth. We are the new 1017 The Truth. Milwaukee Black Talk.
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin plays at an MVP level. They came in ahead of time, make sure they had all of the measurements. When the Pella people left, you had no idea they had been here. You just had the new window.
It's Dr. Ken from 1017 The Truth for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Right now, pay as low as $19 a month per window and $75 per month on patio doors. Visit PellaWI.com today.
$6.99 APR for 120 months. Certain restrictions apply. See showroom for details. Offers end 9/30/2023.
How easy is it to use the UW Credit Union mobile app? We've compared it to other everyday tasks with ratings from 1 to 10, 10 being hardest. Sending money to friends on the app, 1. Putting on your shoes, 4. Paying bills on the app, 1. Putting on your kids' shoes. Okay, stop kicking. Okay, that's a 9.
UW Credit Union, here for every you. Federally insured by NCUA.
This is Tori Lowe from 1017 The Truth, and if you're in need of a reliable and compassionate legal representation, look no further than Patent Law Offices, where promises are turned into action. They are passionate about fighting for all people of color and offers you their justice is not just discount for all potential BIPOC clients. If you need someone willing to fight for you, please visit patentlawwi.com.
What is dedication?
My daughter started making necklaces. She makes what we call affirmation fashion. I tell her every day that your black is beautiful. Your black is beautiful. And if there's anything better than being beautiful, it's being smart. And if there's anything better than being smart, it's being kind. And reaffirming that every day is our method of making sure her chin never drops. My dad wasn't around, And I remember riding a bike and falling off and cutting myself, and me never just wanting to get back on it. People ask, how your children learn how to ride a bike, and you didn't. I didn't teach them. I just created an environment where they taught themselves, and all I had to do was be there.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
The Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
My life in the sunshine. Everybody loves the sunshine. Sunshine.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Blah, 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 blah. 833-212-1017 is the number. Sandra, you're on the new 1017 The Truth. How are you? I'm doing fine. How are you?
Okay. I'm just listening. Listening to you and diversity, and somebody called in and said something about Tucker Carlson and Obama and all that mess.
Yes.
I don't even want to hear.
Does anybody care? Well, you can't not want to hear something, but then if you don't like it, it's okay. But then, does anybody care?
I don't care. I'm not going to listen to that. All that money Tucker Carlson made.
I'm not talking about Tucker Carlson. I'm just talking about people saying stuff.
That's why he get the interview and bring garbage. That's his job.
Well, if you disagree, you disagree. It's not a big deal.
He's
making his money.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's making money with crazily. So we got.
I don't know if one crazy thing makes you crazy when you're getting paid like tens of millions of dollars. So.
Hey, smart. Mike, your buddy said, I'm smart. He's smart. He takes a lot of money to be crazy, you know. Hey, I call it crazy, but it is what it is. But anyhow, yeah, because, I mean, we listen to that stuff, and you just got finished saying that we shouldn't be asking for anything, and we should do it ourselves.
Yep.
And in order to do it yourself, you got to get away from all that garbage. You got to be have your head on right. It takes...
But who says what that means? Like, who gets to say you got your head on right so you get to get it?
What I'm saying is you got to get somebody that can educate you that way into your economical field, into growing, getting you a business, how you got to get your license for it and what all you got to do, you know,
right.
Far as what the city have you do in order to get it up and running. Because I guess it costs a lot of money to get started. And because my dad had a shoe business, like I said, he wouldn't let the girls in on it. He just wanted, and went back in that day, the guys were
the workers.
Smartest.
I wouldn't say the smartest.
Whatever you ought to call it.
I wouldn't say the smartest. I just, Women have always been pretty. Well, that's your father. I can respect that. Yes, ma'am. I'm gonna let that go.
I didn't feel that way, of course, but he said that. He said if something happened to him, my mom would not be able to carry on.
Wow.
And I said, yes, she would. You know, I'm a choice anyways. I'm going to be like that bull. I'm going to fight anyways.
That's right.
You know, I was just listening to you saying that, and you were saying that we should do our own. Yep. So when you say that, what do you mean that stop expecting people to give us anything? Because in my day, we had to, even if we collected bottles, we couldn't ask for a penny. And so we just, that's how we learned how to, you know, I mean, we started working at early ages and had to get permits and all that stuff.
That is correct.
Yeah.
But I think what happened is we created some things in society that gave and made people be really, really lazy, gave them the lazy way out.
In the welfare?
Oh, welfare was definitely one of the things that made people in America lazy. black, white, Hispanic, Asian, men, women, when they made alcoholism a disease, and you can get paid for it. But again, none of these things happened. We didn't have all this talk about, teen pregnancy and all that till it hit the white community. Till then, nobody really cared that black people were dying or Hispanic people or Asian. They didn't care. It's when it hit their community. So I say let's do the reverse. Let's start building up our community by building a community center. And watch this. If the city of Milwaukee says no, you can't build a center because we want everybody to come to the Italian Community Center and spend your money there, I say go to a suburb and go build it there. And the heck with them.
Well, I think eventually if we go to the suburbs, they're trying to do that, what they call it, gentrification and stuff.
Yeah.
They'll come back here and take over. Milwaukee, I think they want to. They want a piece of the rock here.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a real comeback. So I think if we could work with our people and figure out the laws, go find out the laws that's behind it all. Because I know when I got this house here, I bought the land next door because the city was selling it.
Right.
But they told me I couldn't build on it. So why not?
That's idiotic.
Well, that's what they told me.
Have you built on it yet?
No, I didn't plan on building on it anyways. I just wanted it because it's extra land, and you can make it like park area and your own privacy to an extent.
Right.
And then the liquor store guy, he bought a plot a house away, and they told him he couldn't build on it. So I don't know.
Wow.
So there's some things in the way standing in the way, to keep you from furthering yourself too.
Yeah.
So, that's kind of what I want to say.
All right. Well, thank you much, ma'am. I appreciate it.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Bye. 833-212-1017 is the number. Al said, if a person smokes crack before they became president, what does that have to do with us? Nobody's perfect. Somebody trying to, certainly, I'm not talking about right or wrong. A flawful versus a perfect citizen, or discrediting any person that may have indulged in criminal behavior such as not limited to drugs. What I'm insinuating is that he may have been heavily under the influence and delusional when he intimately engaged or hooked up. Who cares? And why are we coming up with reasons why somebody did something without really knowing that they did it? Well, he probably did it because you have no idea, and who cares? He's not president anymore. He's a private citizen. All I can say is give the man a break.
Milwaukee, it's Denise Thomas.
And Telly Hughes from Truth Be Told on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth.
We want to make sure you join us every Friday morning at 8 a.m. for our Black Friday shout-out powered by We Energies.
Black Friday is your opportunity to call into 101.7 The Truth and shout out your black-owned business and let Milwaukee know what you have to offer.
So hit us up every Friday at 8 a.m. to shout out your black-owned business on Truth Be Told with DT and Telly.
This is 101.7 The Truth's Sherwin Hughes, and I am Milwaukee. This show has meant so much to me because it's an opportunity for me to express my thoughts and my feelings to my community, and for my community to express those same thoughts and feelings right back to me. Milwaukee means a lot to me. I was born here, raised here, educated here, and I'm committed to making this a better city. Join the home of Milwaukee's realest conversations where you can speak your truth. We are the new 101.7 The Truth. Milwaukee, Black Talk.
Truth Nation, it is Denise Thomas.
And Telly Hughes.
From Truth Be Told with DT and Telly. And guess what?
What is that, DT?
Our Truth fans can now watch and stream us live every day, Telly.
Wait a minute, Denise. Let me make sure I got this thing right. Our amazing and incredible Truth fans can go to 1017thetruth.com, click the Watch Live link, and watch me and you do our thing live from YouTube and Twitter every morning?
Yes, Telly, that is exactly right. So now, they can watch you almost lose your black card every Friday during our Truth Telling Hit segment.
Come on now. You know I'm never losing my black card. But Truth Nation, you gotta tune into all your favorite 1017 The Truth shows, as you can not only listen live on the app, but you can also stream us live all day, every day by going to 1017thetruth.com and clicking the Watch Live link.
I noticed that my central vision started to blur.
Figures that are usually straight started to distort and become wavy.
What are these little dark spots with blurring that I'm seeing?
There's a blind spot like a blob over my vision now.
Is my vision lost forever?
Why did I wait so long to see a retina specialist?
Retinal disease can steal your eyesight, but it doesn't have to. Patients who seek care from a retina specialist in a timely manner have the best chance of preventing vision loss due to age-related macular degeneration or diabetic retinopathy. AMD symptoms to look out for are distortion or warping of straight lines, as well as blurred or loss of central vision. Patients with diabetic retinopathy should seek treatment if they notice the appearance of spots or floaters or blurred and distorted vision. Don't delay seeing a retina specialist. It's worth the visit to save your vision so you don't miss out on life's precious moments, like seeing your grandchild grow up, enjoying a sunset with that special someone, or reading a good book. Visit seeforalifetime.org.
You're listening to the new 1017 The Truth, founded in partnership with Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. 1017 FM, 1510 AM, WGKB Waukesha, and W269BL Milwaukee. A locally owned Good Karma brand station. Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what, because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of judgment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people up, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth and the Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. I'm excited today because I have a guest in the studio today, and my guest is none other than Jacqueline Rice, who's the president of Cream City Links, of the Links Incorporated. So how are you, ma'am? Yep, press that. There you go.
I'm well, thank you.
All right.
And before we get started, let me say thank you very much for extending the invitation. I appreciate it. I'm a little excited and then a little nervous.
No, don't be nervous.
I'm very impressed about what I see here.
Thank you.
And your status in the radio industry. So thank you very much for having me on, a little lowly who has no experience in radio.
Little lowly? Come on. You and I, but well, first of all, you're a link, so that's saying something. For those people that don't know who the Links are and what they are, they have chapters all over, I guess all over the world.
The United States, and we're national and international.
National and international, 42 states, District of Columbia, Bahamas, United Kingdom.
Yes.
And basically you're committed to enriching and sustaining and ensuring the culture and the economic survival of African Americans and people of African ancestry.
That's correct.
And you do a lot of like
community stuff, right?
The focus is service
Mm-hmm.
in terms of the community engagement piece of it. And all Links chapters have the same mission, have the same directive. The programs that we initiate might be different, but it has the same complexion in terms of we're working with families and children. We have healthcare initiatives.
Right.
We have arts. So we do all the same, but it might be different. And one of the things I might add, if you don't mind, is that now we've added a legislative piece where we're not endorsing anyone. We're promoting voting and being engaged
Right.
to our communities. How imperative it is during this period of time that we get engaged. And second part of that is that to understand the issues.
Right.
And one of the things I grapple with is that we become myopic. It's just about me rather than the whole.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we look at our programmers, we want to make sure that we are filling in gaps, encouraging persons to get engaged, but also filling in gaps where their services are missing. For instance, we work in the schools, tutorial. They might have programs, but we just add that extra dimension to it.
Okay. And so really it's about the relationships you have, courage, the respect for yourself, the respect for others, things of that nature.
That's correct. He looked at our values.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And I was looking at him again. I said, "This guy, he's going to ask me very specific. It's been a long time." And so our values are fairly lengthy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, integrity, respect for others, all those things that roll up into our LinkedIn friendship and connected in service.
Okay.
And how we treat each other is how we treat persons with whom we engage in our communities.
And so you're a nonprofit organization established in 1946.
Yeah, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Yeah. Okay. So you've been around for a few years.
Yes.
for a few, maybe 60, 70,
75.
kind of getting around there.
Right.
And so I find it interesting because your organization locally has had this annual event. I've been to it a couple times, actually.
Thank you very much.
The annual Denim and Diamonds fundraiser. Now that's this Friday.
Yes, at the Good Hope Country Club, 6200 West Good Hope Road.
Mm-hmm.
And this actually, Dr. Harris, is our first in person in about 3 years or more.
Really?
And so I'm really excited. Everyone is excited because we want to bring everyone back together again in person to meet your old friends, make new friends, raise some money for our programs and our scholarships,
Mm-hmm.
and just have a really good time in a beautiful place, and we be safe.
And that's the Wisconsin Country Club, 6200 West Good Hope. How much are tickets?
Tickets are $60.
$60. Reception at 6 o'clock. Food at 7 o'clock.
Yes, and it will be sit down.
Sit down.
Sit down
For $65?
60.
60?
Yeah.
Sit down?
Yes.
I'm impressed.
Well, you know, we want people to come and engage, have a good time. But we also, if you don't mind me adding, is that there is the opportunity to donate to our scholarship and our fundraising.
Yeah.
There's a barcode if you go in and look for us, a Q code, excuse me. And so if you don't want to go, contribute. So we can give scholarships. We give academic scholarships for students who are matriculating, going to college.
And so they can just go to Eventbrite and just search for annual Denim Diamonds.
Right. Look for Cream City Eventbrite.
Cream City links and just go from there. And
then you follow the train, I guess.
All right.
Now, you know, if you find that we're sold out, which is our goal, just donate that money you were going to buy ticket for.
Spoken like a true salesperson. and so what type of programs does Cream City Links do directly for their scholarship fund?
What we do is I mentioned earlier that we follow the mission of the national to give us our mandate.
Right.
And so we have 5 different targets that we one is health, arts, family and youth, international, and so we follow those, and so we try to match programs, needs in our community that we can employ those services. For instance, like if we take international trends and services, going to Jamaica, going to Haiti, or some other places, we identify those gaps or those needs, those residents or citizens' needs. For instance, we might help send supplies to schools, or there are some chapters that help build a school. There are some chapters, I understand, that have been very instrumental in building and equipping hospitals. You know, we have many, many influential links in the world, so they're able to extrapolate from their resource base and provide these things.
Mm-hmm.
Here in Milwaukee, we have focused in on a school system, and so we offer many things in our school. We tutorial services, we getting into STEM, to make sure that our children understand what STEM is, and that it's not anything you can be afraid of. Math is not that bad if you think about it.
Right.
Science.
Right.
And then the whole critical thinking piece is that, you know, introducing students. This past year, we brought professionals, African-American professionals in who were engineers, who were mathematicians, and also in the trades. And so when the gentleman from the MATC, who was the director of the trades program, said, you really need to have math skills. You really need to have certain skills. And so we try to do that. We don't have, we're not teaching, we're just sharing information, exposing and encouraging, and then those kinds of things.
And so really what you do is you enrich people's lives.
We're trying to enrich, and we're trying to enhance the quality of a person's life.
Okay.
Many of our children, I remember doing one of our programs when the hops came out.
Mm-hmm.
We sponsored many kids on the hops.
Okay.
And some kids had never been beyond certain geographic boundaries in their environment, so they toured all over downtown.
I'm mad you all didn't take me to the Bahamas with you.
Okay.
How come y'all gonna take me to the Bahamas?
No.
I can't go?
No.
Okay.
I
gotta ask.
I need to add that it is a...
It is a women's only group?
That's right. Now, we use guys to help us pick the baggage.
Do all the heavy work.
Do
all the heavy work.
Lifting, all the heavy lifting. Right.
Have to treat you all with the dignity and respect.
Well, we hope we earn it.
To a woman who's a link.
We hope. Well, we like to think we earn it.
Anything else you want to add? What do I look? So I come to Denim and Diamonds. What do I need to look forward to?
Well, it'll be start at 6 and we over like 10:30.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Do I have to wear denim and diamonds?
We ask that people dress appropriately.
Do I look like the kind of guy that will wear denim and diamonds?
Yes, because I think your wife will make sure that you dress appropriately.
Me dressed in denim and diamonds?
Now people say, "Well, I just go get a pair of jeans." You know it. You can be spruced up, and we're not the only chapter who does that, and some are very, very fabulous. And so you can find a great many outfits that would do what we're talking about doing. But we will have cigarette break there as our entertainment.
Very familiar with them.
And I understand that they are really, really good, and that they will have music that's, I use the term intergenerational, so everyone can have a good time and identify with it. And so, yes.
Now, there's only one problem with cigarette break.
Okay.
If you don't like to dance, you're going to end up dancing, and you're never going to stop dancing. I'm just saying.
That's not a problem.
Because they are a phenomenal band. I've been at many a event with them.
Well, that's what we want people to do. Remember you heard me say that we want you to connect with your old friends, make new friends, and come back next year. And so the idea is to encapsulate that sense of feeling and good times and identify with what we want to do in our community and what we're doing and come back and help us out. And have a good time at the same time.
The Links Incorporated, international not-for-profit organization established in 1946. The Milwaukee chapter, Cream City chapter, is having their annual Denim and Diamonds fundraiser. You can search for it. Just Google Eventbrite.
That's correct.
Cream City Links.
And we have a Facebook page.
And they have a Facebook page. It'll pop up. That's Friday, September 8th. $60 are the tickets at the Wisconsin Country Club, 6200 West Good Hope Road. Reception at 6 o'clock. program at 7. Thank you, Jacqueline Rice, President.
Thank you.
Outstanding.
I hope to see you that Friday.
I'll be there. All right. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Top 5 at 5 up next.
You are listening to Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This is 1017 The Truth's Dr. Ken Harris, and the time is now, Milwaukee. You know, perspective is essential. What I found is the news behind the news is more important. I want you to leave my show with a sense of knowing what was missing that adds depth to the conversation. Tune in Monday through Friday, 4 to 6 p.m. on the new 1017 The Truth app, or 1017thetruth.com.
Adrienne was seriously injured when a careless driver merged into her lane.
Gruber was there for everything that I needed. Any questions that I had, Gruber was there. They made me feel like everything about my situation and my accident was very important to them, and that made me feel good. And I would definitely call Gruber again for that.
Serving Wisconsin for over 35 years, Gruber Law Offices, one call, that's all.
They go above and beyond for their clients.
It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the new 1017 The Truth. Here is Denise Thomas with her truth.
Over the past 2 years, I've been very intentional about self-care, including clinical therapy. And one of the many lessons that I've learned includes the biggest one that I've applied, and that is letting go. Oftentimes, we feel as though that we have to hold on to certain relationships, whether it's professional or personal, because we feel a sense of obligation. However, within that relationship, you're always feeling as though it's difficult to love you. You're a bad person. You're not good. Combined with what we're hearing and reading on social media and other news platforms. I want to remind you, as I've learned and gained through therapy, that in any relationship that you're in, it should be elevating your happiness. It should be elevating your joy. It should be providing you prosperity and peace. Don't get me wrong. In any relationship, there's misunderstandings, there's miscommunications, and that's where, as human beings, we allow the relationship to be bigger than that particular incident and say, you know what? When you said this or when you did this, it made me feel this. I may be totally misinterpreting it, but I just wanted you to understand how it made me feel. And in those situations where the continuous behavior makes you feel as though, again, that you're bad or that you're not good, or it's just always exhausting to be in that relationship, let it go. And you can release with love. You can let that person know we're no longer compatible. This does not feel good. I release you, and I release you with love. Let everything that is not bringing you value go so you can be around people, places, and things that bring out the best in you. You deserve it.
This has been Truth Takes on the new 1017 The Truth. Listen to The Truth Be Told with DT and Telly weekdays from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris, 833-212-1017 is the absolute positive number.
Number 5.
Well, if you haven't heard yet from CBS 58, an 11-year-old boy who was charged in the death of his mother was bound over for trial on Tuesday, September 5th, and so the child is facing one count of first-degree intentional homicide In July, a judge ruled the boy competent to stand trial as an adult. I don't understand why we're putting a 10-year-old, a boy who was 10 years old at the time, on trial as an adult. Like, I don't know. I think there's something wrong with the Milwaukee DA's office. She wouldn't allow him to have something from Amazon that he wanted. He went and got the gun, got it up, pulled it out, shot her, killed her. It was intentional, but he's a 10-year-old. It says he told investigators he took his mother's keys, hid them the night before, including a key to the gun box. He told authorities he retrieved the gun because he was mad at his mother for waking him up early. A plea of not guilty was entered, and scheduling conferences set for October 6th. What's coming out of sentencing a 10-year-old when a 10-year-old is going to max out the system? If I'm not, no, he has to be tried as a juvenile. Are you? This doesn't make any sense to me. None whatsoever. Absolutely none whatsoever.
Number 4.
A resolution created also from CBS 58, a resolution to create a fleet of transit rangers. Well, you got to call him a ranger. Like, what is that? Where's Tonto? For county buses passed at the committee level. Sandra Cooper, bus operator, said, is it going to take for a driver to get killed before they consider, now we need to take care of y'all? Cooper is one of many MCTS bus operators who shared stories of alleged assault. You're calling it alleged assault? Well, why would somebody lie about that? Anyway. He pulls out a gun, says bus operator Cynthia Simpson, while getting emotional. I called dispatch. I was not taken out of service. No one came to assist me in any way. In that moment, I knew I was alone out there. Until the end of October, Milwaukee County has a $2.2 million contract with private security company Allied Universal with 30 security officers, but operators feel their safety is falling through the cracks, especially after a shooting on a county bus last month. Ride that bus and see what we go through. A Transit Safety and Security Task Force recommendation passed unanimously on Tuesday will create a Transit Ranger program with 51 transit rangers dedicated to bus safety for just under $3.5 million. Milwaukee County has an opportunity to bring those people in-house and provide the highest level of service to our most vulnerable population. So people that ride the bus are your most vulnerable population? Okay. Last winter, hoping to improve safety, they eliminated fare enforcement by drivers, an action they say it would lead to many verbal and physical altercations between riders and drivers. So basically, I could just get on the bus and ride for free. But they said in the first 8 months of 2023, they saw a 42% drop in operator assaults. But can you attribute that directly to them letting people just ride? They said incidents of operators being threatened or harassed has dropped 24% during the same time. Task Force noted that fare enforcement is a gap that transit rangers could fill in if the positions are created. So we'll see how that works. We will see whether or not it will it'll happen. We'll check it out.
Number 3.
An unlicensed 20-year-old man now admits he was behind the wheel of a stolen car that led police on a chase and ended with the crash that killed a Milwaukee man. Anthony Marcel Hernandez pled guilty yesterday to 4 felonies, second-degree reckless homicide, operator fleeing and eluding police officer causing death, operator fleeing and eluding causing bodily harm or property damage, and driving or operating vehicle without consent. Officers spotted Hernandez driving a 22 Kia Sportage on South Greeley and East Deer Place on July 28th of 2022. They chased him, and the vehicle was reported stolen a day earlier from South KK Avenue. Officers attempted to stop it. They wouldn't pull over, led him on a pursuit, 9 miles at speeds up to 65 miles an hour, and the crash ended near Wisconsin Avenue and 35th Street when the stolen vehicle ran a red light, slammed into a 2011 Chevy Equinox. The crash sent the Kia into a Honda Odyssey driven by a 77-year-old who was then taken to the hospital and put on a ventilator as he underwent numerous surgeries and died August 7th. And so this person is now basically said that they shouldn't have been driving in the first place. They disregarded street signs, street lights, all sorts of things, stolen car. And I think when people see sentencing is set for October 19th, we should see this person get sentenced for something that's commiserate to what they did. I mean, that's just me, but who knows?
Number 2.
From the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, Wisconsin Democrats pledge $4 million plus blitz to counter GOP impeaching Protasewicz. The Democratic Party and the coalition of unnamed allied groups plan to spend $4 million to dissuade Republican lawmakers from initiating impeachment proceedings against the state Supreme Court's newest justice, former Milwaukee County Judge Janet Protasewicz. Democratic Party of Wisconsin Chairman Ben Wickler told reporters during a Tuesday night briefing that the party and other democracy-defending groups, I love how people say when they're right, they believe theirs is democracy. Republicans do the same thing. Anyway, will launch an intensive, multi-pronged statewide campaign on today to make clear to Wisconsin Republicans that an attempt to impeach Protasewicz would be an absolute political, moral, and constitutional disaster. That's saying a lot. But they have a right to sue and do stuff just like the Democrats did when they didn't like something. So, I mean, I don't know. I had a problem with Protasewicz only because when you're being a judge, I shouldn't know how you feel about abortion. I shouldn't know how you feel about redistricting, gerrymandering, none of that stuff. Keep that private because you're a judge. You're supposed to be impartial. And she showed before she went to the bench, she actually told people how she was going to rule. That's scary. And now I don't trust her. And I've known her for 20, 25 years, you know. I mean, when she was an ADA and a judge, I was working with the Milwaukee Police Department. She always seemed to be fair and decent. But recently, we've gotten these judges that seem to think they want to be activists from the bench. And I don't care if you're a Republican or Democrat, conservative or liberal, that has to stop. Your job is to be impartial. Be impartial. Follow the rule of law. So when you start telling me before you get elected, that's how you get elected, how you're going to rule, and the case hasn't come before you yet, that scares me because what you're telling me is that I'm not going to listen to the law. I'm not going to listen to the rule of law. I'm not going to listen to any of the information or evidence people present. I have a preconceived notion to vote this way. That's a problem because you're a judge. And in that instance, she should probably be removed. But she's not because she got elected. So she's there for 10 years. And so that's something we have to put up with. I think it's unfortunate because from what I understand, she's a pretty decent jurist. But the fact that you actually do that, right? Well, in the case of a judicial officer, once the assembly votes to impeach you, the official cannot perform their duties without being acquitted by the Senate. So that leaves open the possibility that the Senate could sit on the assembly action without scheduling a trial, effectively sidelining Protasewicz and leaving the court evenly divided on ideological lines. I think that there's some people on that court that will step up and do their job, not as a Democrat or a Republican, a conservative or a liberal, but as a jurist following the rule of law. That's just me. But I think it's idiotic. We got to get rid of this conservative liberal thing in a courtroom. Because now I don't trust people.
Number 1.
Milwaukee police say an 80-year-old woman who was struck by a motorist at 6th and Lapham in Milwaukee has died from her injuries. Officials say the crash happened around 6:30 on Friday, the 1st of September. The woman was struck while crossing in the crosswalk. She was taken to the hospital for treatment of her injuries. And the driver remained on the scene, is cooperating with the investigation. Police say the 80-year-old woman died on yesterday from her injuries. So our thoughts and prayers go out to her family on the south side. You got to be careful when you drive. I hope the person wasn't talking on their phone or doing something untoward in regards to driving. You have to be careful. You have to make sure you're going to be aware of your surroundings. Traffic, sports, and weather up next.
More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Hi, I'm Natalie Shepard.
And I'm Jessup Ricebeck from the CBS 58 News at 10.
We hear it all the time from viewers. Television news is too negative.
That's why we're trying something different at CBS 58. In our newscasts, we focus on what's important to Southeast Wisconsin, and that's not necessarily crime.
We want you to know the great things happening in our hometowns as well.
What's going to help solve problems here and uplift our viewers.
We are your hometown station, and that's the type of news we're going to bring to you.
Join us every night at 10 on the CBS 58 News.
In Cutler's Court,
we found out who's lying,
who's the daddy,
and who's getting paid.
She was telling me that we're not ready to get married. I said, give me the ring back.
No, that's not true. You want to tell your side of the story?
They were dealing with witchcraft.
He doesn't trust me.
You slept with his friend.
It's reason behind that. Do you have questions about the paternity?
You got these polygraph results.
Is there anything you need to tell before these tests get revealed?
This is getting good now. Cutler's Court, weekdays at 10 and 10:30 on WMLW, The M.
We need each other, now more than ever. Because every someone needs someone else.
We need each other, because when we work together, we can do so much more.
When we work together, we connect more children with what they need to grow up healthy, educated, and safe. And that's what Child Fund is all about.
Together, we co-create, support, and sustain connections that lead to greater well-being for millions of children facing poverty.
Which also benefits their families, their communities, their countries, and you.
Because when you make someone's world better, you make everyone's world better.
Child Fund. Because we need each other.
To learn how Child Fund works with children in 24 countries to achieve their full potential, visit childfund.org. That's childfund.org.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel you attract people who tend to be compulsive or abusive?
Do you have money problems because of someone else's drinking?
Are you afraid or embarrassed to bring your friends home?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
More than half of all adults have a family history of alcoholism.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too. Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Trouble along 4394 northbound. We got an accident right about at Beecher, and the northbound side of 4394 is closed right now because of it. You can use the collector ramps to get around this, so just follow the detours that they have for you. But it is going to be a dicey ride. I would avoid 4394 northbound at this point because it's just a big nightmare. Other than that, southbound, everybody's slowing down to take a look at this, so it's pretty much solid out of the Marquette all the way down past that scene. Back it up a bit, we do still have some delays along southbound 43 from Silver Spring all the way down past Locust. Northbound is going to be slow from Fond du Lac Avenue all the way up past Keefe. And checking the TMJ4 Storm King forecast. Tonight, a few showers, mostly cloudy otherwise, with a low of 61. Tomorrow, spotty showers, mostly cloudy, a high of 68. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 101.7 The Truth.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 101.7 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Greg Matzik. Afternoon baseball for the Milwaukee Brewers, cleaning up a series against the Pirates on the road today. Brewers begin the day with a 2.5-game lead over the Cubs for first place in the NL Central. Game week for the Packers, who are slim 1-point underdogs for Sunday's opener against the Bears in Chicago. According to Packers head coach Matt LaFleur, outside linebacker Rashawn Gary is expected to play, less than 1 year removed from a torn ACL.
I mean, we're going to be smart with him, knowing that this is a marathon and he's one of our dogs and one of the lead dogs, and you can't have enough guys like him.
Sunday's game is a 3:25 kick from Soldier Field. Week 1 of the NFL season kicks off Thursday night in Kansas City with the defending champion Chiefs taking on the Detroit Lions. This sports update presented by Associated Bank, proudly supporting our hometown teams. Member FDIC.
The Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. I was looking for something. It's not like TV where you can sit there and do stuff, right? Like you have to actually, talk and do things. Ah, there it is. All right. So here's the funny thing, right? I don't know who came up with this, but it's going to put a lot of small businesses out of business. So just before Labor Day, labor groups and activists celebrated a new move from the Biden administration they call a win for workers. Supporters claim the Department of Labor is taking steps to expand the right to overtime pay for more than 3 million new people. Well, Verified.com, is it Verified.com? What is it? It's actually, VerifyThis.com. Says, yes, a new federal rule would expand who's eligible for overtime, but the rule has not taken effect yet. Under the federal law, salaried workers were eligible for overtime pay only if they met at least one of the two criteria, including a salary that falls below a certain threshold. The proposed regulation would raise the current salary threshold by $375 per week, or nearly $20,000 per year. So what it's actually saying is the rule is going to change who's affected by it, right? So at this moment, the threshold sits at $684 per week, or $35,568 per year. The new regulation would make it $1,059 per week, or roughly $55,000 a year. This means that with only a few exceptions, if you make less than $55,000 a year, you'd be eligible for overtime pay, right? Time and a half for each hour worked above 40 in a week. The proposed regulation would also automatically update that threshold every 3 years to keep up with the market. But the rule hasn't taken effect yet. It's early stages of the regulatory process and could be several months or more before it gets finalized. Of course, they expect court challenges, and states could have even higher thresholds than the federal rule, meaning that More people in those states are overtime eligible, but they can't be lower. And so where's it going to come from? We keep wanting to pay people more. We're in a recession. The city of Milwaukee is about to add a 2% tax on top of the 5.6% tax we already pay. We're going to be paying nearly 8% tax. Plus we got a 2.2, which makes it what, 7.8? How are we going to pay for this? How are people going to actually exist? So if you make under $55,000 a year, if you work more than 40 hours in a week and you're paid a salary of, say, $45,000, you have to pay people overtime. So in my instance, you would have to get permission when you hit 30 hours to work overtime. That's just me. I'd put in the rules, have the person sign it. Hey, read the rules, make sure you sign it and say that you read it. Here's your copy. If you work 30 hours, from that point forward, you have to tell me whether or not you're going to go over, and we got to figure out whether or not you're going to go and get overtime. Otherwise, people may just work. Oh, no, I went over 40 hours this week. You owe me time and a half. No. Maybe that's the businessman side of me. I don't know. I mean, I get it. But how do you make money like that in order to sustain your employees, to pay for benefits? Because the first person that's going to get cut is you. Then what? I don't know. 833-212-1017 is the number. Do you agree with the fact that people would get overtime for salary? That they know they're going in for salary? Now, granted, let's flip the coin. Some businesses take advantage of that and work you to death. So by the time you figure out you're making, $30, $40, $50, $60, $70, $80,000 a year, by the time you divide your hours out, you're making less than minimum wage. But that's what you signed up for. If you didn't want it, don't sign up for it. But that's not what we do. We go in and then after the fact, we decide, well, I don't like this, so now I got to do something to change it. Well, you might want to quit. But that's just me. I do get where people should get paid overtime. I think it depends on the job. Some jobs, you're just not going to get paid overtime. It would be cheaper to hire a part-time person to bridge the gap. You know what I mean? Like it might be easier to just hire somebody to fill it in. So is that a good idea? Well, we don't know, and it's going to take a few months, but eventually, I just got a feeling that around January 1st, 2024, this country's about to get rocked. And we don't have a presidential election until 2024, the end of it. And we're still going through all this stuff. 833-212-1017 is the number. I want to know what you think.
You are listening to Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This is 1017 The Truth's Tori Lowe, and I am Milwaukee. The Tori Lowe Show has become a resource for the community. I enjoy having open, on-air discussions about what we can do to regroup, rethink the black man, the black woman, and the black child. This show is about that action, and I want all the smoke. Join the home of Milwaukee's realest conversations where you can speak your truth. We are the new 1017 The Truth, Milwaukee Black Talk.
Hey, Truth fans, it's Dee Kemp, Vice President of Programs for Axe Housing. I am so excited to give you some information about how we can help you and your family reach the dream of owning your own home. At Axe Housing, we know you may be struggling to buy your own home due to financial strain, or maybe you don't even know how to get started on the path to home ownership. This is where Axe Housing can help. We will provide you with your own home buying coaching team who will help you with the entire home buying process from start to finish. That includes the home search, the loan process, and the big closing day on your dream home. Why rent when you can own? Here at Axe Housing, we help prepare families for successful home ownership. Stop paying rent and start building wealth. Reach out to our Axe Housing team today because we believe in you and we know home ownership can be within your reach. Visit us today at axehousing.org to get started. That's ACTShousing.org.
Life's better with an auto policy from American Family Insurance. No matter what dreams you're driving towards. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto coverage at the right price. You'll also save up to 23% when you bundle auto with home. American Family Insurance. Get a quote, find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
From my family and myself, I would like to say thank you to Gruber Law Offices for taking such good care of us.
I would say thank you because you were so human and so much of a friend during the whole process.
I'm super grateful for them representing me and doing all that they did for me.
I would just say thank you for making me feel better.
That's why I'm here, to say thank you, thank you, thank you.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
How easy is it to use the UW Credit Union mobile app? We've compared it to other everyday tasks, with ratings from 1 to 10, 10 being hardest. Sending money to friends on the app, 1. Putting on your shoes, 4. Paying bills on the app, 1. Putting on your kids' shoes. Okay, stop kicking. Okay, that's a 9.
UW Credit Union, here for every you. Federally insured by NCUA.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris, as we roll to the end. Let me see if I missed any talking text line. Yes, they are vulnerable. You're riding in your car and they're sitting on a bus waiting to be robbed. There's nothing to... okay. Always at Work said it's cheaper to pay overtime because you don't have to train a new person. Plus, if your base is $10, overtime is only $15 to employees. At $10 is $20 per hour, plus whatever benefits. No. I disagree. Because you got to pay for it. I mean, all of your math and everything that you're saying is correct. I just disagree with the fact that I don't want to have to pay you because it's my business and I'm saving money. I'm just saying. People will find a way around it. They'll figure out a way to say, well, it's not exactly what we were talking about, so no, we're not doing that. I don't know. 833-212-1017 is the number. Did you hear about the, and I didn't know this, because if I remembered correctly, the Tuskegee Airmen never lost, like were never killed in a dogfight. Right? Well, second lieutenant, the body of a Tuskegee Airman has been positively identified after 8 decades. Second Lieutenant Fred L. Brewer Jr. went missing October 19th, 1944, while on a bomber escort mission with 56 other fighters over enemy targets in Regensburg, Germany. So Department of Defense officials have identified the remains of a Tuskegee pilot who went missing during World War II 79 years ago, ABC News reports. According to the Defense Department POW MIA accounting agency, Second Lieutenant Fred L. Brewer Jr. went missing October 19th, 1944, while on a bomber escort mission with 56 other fighters over enemy targets in Germany. The North Carolina native flew a single-seat P-51C Mustang, nicknamed Traveling Light, out of Romatelli Airfield in Italy when heavy cloud cover forced several fighters to return to base early. Brewer was not among the 47 who returned to base, and reports from other pilots indicate that the second lieutenant had been attempting to climb his aircraft out of the cloud cover but stalled and fell into a spin. There's no evidence that Brewer ejected, and according to the agency, local news reported him missing at the time and eventually declared him dead. Well, U.S. personnel recovered a body from a civilian cemetery in the area after the war, but it was impossible to identify the remains using technology at the time, and the body was buried as an unknown. But research conducted on the case in 2011 revealed the remains were recovered from a crashed fighter plane the same day that Brewer disappeared. And German wartime records confirmed this information. According to the agency, remains were sent to the DPAA lab in June of last year for further analysis, and based on the combined evidence, the remains were identified of those of Second Lieutenant Brewer last month. And so Brewer joined the U.S. Army Air Forces in November of 1943, graduated from the Tuskegee Army Airfield in Alabama in 1944. ABC News reports he was Tuskegee Airman, member of the 100th Fighter Squadron, 332nd Fighter Group, or the 332nd Fighter Group. So, for those of you that don't know, Tuskegee Airmen flew combat missions during World War II as the country's first black military aviators. Tuskegee University is estimated to have trained about 1,000 black pilots. His name appears in the Florence American Cemetery in Impruneta, Italy, on the tablets of the missing, according to ABC News. And his cousin, Rabina Brewer Harrison, told the Washington Post they hope to bury his remains in Charlotte. Harrison told the Washington Post, "I remember how devastating it was when they notified my family, my uncle and my aunt, that he was missing. It just left a void within our family. My aunt, who was his mother, Janie, she never recovered from that." And so now the family can bring this to a close, and now their loved one will be laid to rest in North Carolina. So that's an interesting story. Missing 79 years. And they finally, because of DNA technology, was able to identify him, locate his remains, identify him, and now we're able to bring him home, to repatriate him to the United States. So that's something. It's interesting. Do a lot of people know about Tuskegee Airmen? I mean, really know about them? Or have they just heard of them and, you know, as usual, they glossed it over in a book? That's why I'm looking forward to Black History Month, because I start in like January, and we're going to start going through all the things of importance. Because, you know, we're black 365 days a year. So when we talk about Black History Month, yeah, we pick the shortest day of the month. That's saying something. That's saying something. I still find it interesting, though. 833-212-1017 is the number. Do we know if the Brewers won today? I wonder. Well, wait a minute. I'm looking at this thing that says Journal Sentinel. Click sports. All right. Why do I care about NFL scores? I don't care. Click Brewers. A bad call burns the Brewers in Pittsburgh, but so does quiet offense. So it looks like Brewers struggled to score after taking a 3-0 lead in the first inning. They did little else. So the Pirates come back for the victory. So what are they, 1.5 games out? And the Cubs won. So they're what, a half game? I don't know. Pirates 5, Brewers 4. Milwaukee struggles to score. Pirates took the 3-game series 2-1. Milwaukee is 77-62. Lost with Peralta. So interesting. So what does all that mean? That means that if they keep playing the way they're playing, yeah, we can forget about making winning. I don't know. And see, I'm a baseball lover. I absolutely, positively love it. I could sit and watch baseball all day, all evening, get myself in trouble. You know how some people stream? I could watch baseball. Like, I'd be one of those people with the 4 screens with 4 different baseball games on and just watch it. You know, pitch, pitch, pitch. What I really love is they sped up the game. And because now that they sped up the game is a little more exciting because, you know, if you don't pitch at a certain time, you get burned, right? You balk, you get burned. So it makes it a little better. But that's just me. 833-212-1017 is it. Have you ever heard of the Deacons of Defense? Yes. So. But no, I'm a baseball fanatic. As a kid, because I could never go to the game because I didn't have, we didn't have enough money. So I would watch it on TV, and that's the one that stuck with me. Later, football was okay. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Tori Lowe Show is coming up next. I'll be cruising around about 4 a.m., and then at 7 a.m., you got them folks from DT and Telly and everybody and hanging out. And you got Sherwin, and my brain just went, what's the name of the noon show? Like, boop, nothing but the truth. Truth be told and nothing but the truth. Drives me crazy. Everything's truth around here. I wonder why. Tori Lowe's coming up. You all take care. God bless. Thank you, Rhea. Appreciate you. Don't work too hard. One day I'm going to get you raised up. One day. Take care. I'm out.